Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the All Sports Matter podcast. I am one of your hosts, Flectron, Mr. Two Belts Moore, here with my brothers, Amir Poppy Shiraz and JB. Say what's up to the good people.
What's going on? Public viewings.
What's happening, good people?
We got a show, a lot of information, a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to try to keep it to an hour today. You know, we went a little over on our draft special last week. We're going to try to keep it to an hour today. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with breaking news from today. DeAndre Hopkins suspended 6 games, PED use, violation of the performance enhancing drug policy. Fellas, what's your take on that? Starting off,
I just think he pissed hot and got try to get out of pissing hot. So whatever he put in his system to not piss hot is what caused the fake test.
Basically, I mean,
that's my opinion.
He knew he was about to pop, and so he tried to jump in front of it, but it was a little. He used the wrong thing to jump in front of it, basically. So I mean, and he know he did it. That's why he decided to not try to challenge her or nothing like that, because he knew that it was going to ultimately come back and they was go uphold it. So
I think. But why with how relaxed the NFL has become on if it's just marijuana? I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what it is that he popped hot for. But if it was just marijuana, why not fight it? I mean, with how lax the NFL is on marijuana usage now.
Well, I read the statement released by the NFL, and if I could read it really quickly, it says Hopkins produced a positive test result for a prohibited substance plus a diuretic.
Ooh,
my English is not good looking.
Diuretic.
Or a masking agent, in an attempt to substitute, dilute, adulterate a specimen to manipulate a test result. So pretty much they just got him for trying to cover up the test.
Right. Which brings me back to what I was saying. Why not just, hey, I popped hot for weed, get suspended 3 games. Now they don't know what you popped hot for, and you suspended for 6 games. Like it doesn't make sense. I think there's something more to that.
I mean, honestly, he knows what he popped hot for. So if it wasn't weed and he knows that, it looks like he was just trying to get in front of the entire situation. So, if you know that you was about to get tested and you was gonna pop out for something that was gonna be more than what you could actually do and more than what you can get away with when you try to get ahead of it, I feel like that's what he's trying to do in this situation. And in order to do that, you just gotta roll with what they go give you. So that's what he's doing right now. He's rolling with what they're giving him. And he's hoping that it kind of blows over during the offseason. Luckily, it happened early in the offseason, but he still go get those 6 games. Now, I'm waiting for these schedules to come out because I need those 6 games to be when the 49ers play. I'm not trying to see him.
Do you guys believe the Cardinals knew about this before the draft, which in turn had them go and trade for Marquise Hollywood Brown? Amir?
Yes, and no. Yes, I think they knew about it before the draft. No, because if you want to think about it, Hollywood Brown was the one that requested the trade. So I think the Arizona Cardinals, I guess yes and no. I don't think they traded for Hollywood Brown based upon DeAndre Hopkins. I think they said perfect timing for a wide receiver to come in, still on a cheap-ish contract. To be on the other side of DeAndre Hopkins. They re-signed A.J. Green. They still got Rondale Moore. So, Hollywood Brown actually, solidifies. They wide receiver Zach Ertz is still there. So I think they was trying to keep Kyler Murray happy I don't think it had nothing to do with DeAndre Hopkins, but I think they did know about this going forward or before the draft.
Well, I see it just like you said that they knew about it. They definitely knew about it because you know the teams know about stuff a week before the public knows about it, and I do think they were trying to keep Kyler Murray happy because that's somebody that Kyler Murray played with in the past. So they knew about it definitely. That's not why they did the trade. In hindsight, they did the trade specifically to make Kyler Murray happy, but. Can they kill two birds with one stone? Absolutely, they can. So why not? If I'm the Cardinals, why not kill those two birds with the same stone if I can do it? And they pulled off a monster trade. Well, I ain't gonna say monster trade, but because we all know who pulled off the monster trade. I'm not gonna say nothing, Fleck. I'm not gonna say nothing, but I do have.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
that. Few of them people in my ear talking about yes, thank you because y'all did. You helped me out with that breaking news, but yeah, that they knew about it. They didn't do it solely because of that.
Does D-Hop being suspended, how is that going to affect the Cardinals for those 6 games? I mean, obviously we don't know the schedule yet, the exact schedule, but I mean, D-Hop is one of the top 5 receivers. I think we all can agree on it in the league. I mean, that's going to be a big subtraction for those Cardinals for those 6 games.
We saw last year they get off to a hot start and they fell off. It's no secret who didn't play those last 5 games. We realized who struggled going towards the end of the season, and they embarrassed themselves going to the playoffs. Arizona was the division winners, going in. But I don't remember what the end of the record was, but I know they went down there and flaming poop going into the playoffs once DeAndre Hopkins went out with injury.
One of them Hopkins
boys. Look, I think it all depends on what Hollywood Brown they get. Quite honestly, you see it all the time when you get a quarterback who has that rapport and who's played with the receiver in college. You see them come together in high school, and they know, or not high school, in the pros, and they know each other, and they start getting that magic back. So it just depends on what Hollywood Brown shows up. Now, if it's the same one that was in Baltimore for the last few years that couldn't catch a cold, I think they might be in a little bit of trouble. But if the Hollywood Brown shows up that made him get drafted where he did, then they might be in line to do something along with the rest of the weapons that they have. So
I think Hollywood's gonna have and this is just me, I think he's gonna have a monster year. Only because him and Kyler got that chemistry from their time at Oklahoma together. Change of scenery, they say helps players. Change of scenery to somebody you're familiar with and you wanted to play with. I think he's gonna come out and try to show out, especially not having D-Hop for those first 6 games. He's gonna be the de facto number 1. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got what? AJ Green. I mean, who else do they have? Zach Ertz.
Exactly.
They drafted Trey McBride. We'll get to that later. I mean,
it's a boy.
Who else do they have?
I mean,
who's going to take targets from him?
It's that void, and he's coming in at the right time where that void is open, and he can go ahead and jump on that, and he can take advantage of that. He can come in there and say, "Look, Kyle, I know you. You know me. We have the timing thing down. All it's going to take is for a couple of practices for us to get back to where we were, get back in sync." So he's coming in, and he should have that mindset coming in. Now, does he? We don't know. We won't know until they get there and they start doing their thing. But that's the mindset that he should have coming in. And if he's anything like the professionals that should be, that's the mindset he's going to have. So he's coming in. He's going to say, D-Hop's not here. I'm stepping in, and let's make this work.
I think it's all going to be it's definitely going to depend on that schedule. Well, we'll know on the 12th when they release the schedule. But
yep.
If they get off to a slow start and say they go 2-4, without Hopkins is that their season. You know, their season gets dictated the first 6 games of the season. You know, you already got a disgruntled quarterback. You got no wide receiver. You got, you know, maybe Hollywood Brown don't want to be there after this year. Maybe, you know, he tries to come in next year. You know, there's going to be so many more questions based upon their production starting off the first 6 weeks of the season. And this is huge. You know, we are talking about when healthy, a top 5 wide receiver. You know, I don't think he's dropped the ball since he's been in the NFL. So it's crazy. It's sad. It's irresponsible on him or his staff. If the staff let him down, sometimes the player doesn't know what they're taking, to be honest. I think in this case, he does know. But for the most part, players who are coming back from injuries are taking more. You know, they are taking more. They're taking more, you know, HGH products. They're taking more hormones. They're taking more steroids. They're taking more, you know, he probably didn't expect to be piss tested at this point, honestly. He probably thought he had some time. Yep. And they got him. They got him. He knows they got him. And production, Kyler Murray's got to step up, which he didn't at the end of the last season. And that was a bad black eye for the Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Because if you notice, he wasn't throwing it to nobody. He didn't have no time. He was running around in circles. He was taking 4-yard loss runs to not get sacked instead of throwing it out. Like, Kyler Murray was not the Kyler Murray we were used to those last 5-6 games that Hopkins was out. So right. I don't know. I think they're going to have to not necessarily sit Hopkins, because even if you're suspended for like a season, Hopkins still practice. He can still play exhibition games. He can still do training workouts, the OTAs, and all that stuff. I would have him out there, but have Kyler Murray kind of throw the other direction so he get used to not throwing it to Hopkins and build up a Rondale Moore and build up his relationship with Hollywood Brown, you know. And obviously Zach Ertz is going to be Zach Ertz. You know, healthy Zach Ertz is top 5, top 10 tight end talent-wise. But, yeah, if they start out 2-4, it's going to be a long season for the Cardinals.
And that's going to be a tough NFC West. That NFC West is it's not going to,
unless they got the Seahawks the first 2 out of 4 games of the season. That's different.
Hey, I mean, look, we don't know what the Seahawks are going to look like. We don't know what
Baker
they're going to look like.
Mayfield-led Seahawks, or the Geno Smith-led Seahawks.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that another time, but we don't know what they're going to look like. Jim, you want to wrap this up?
I mean, you know, it's basically, you know, what you were saying. You know, when you have a change of scenery like that, it is all on your work ethic and how you come in. If your attitude coming in is I'm coming in here to dominate, then that's, you know, that's what you go see. But if you coming in and that's not what you're looking for, you just looking to get an easy paycheck, then everything will fall apart.
Speaking of change of scenery, Tyrann Honey Badger Matthew signed with the hometown New Orleans Saints. Tyrann Matthews, 3 years, $33 million for Tyrann Matthews to go back home. Jim, you're in New Orleans. Talk to us.
Let me tell you something. I'm in New Orleans. You're right. And when this happened, it's like the whole city of New Orleans. You can hear just screaming in the streets. I don't, you know, everybody. Oh yeah, Honey Badger coming home. I didn't like the move personally. Me myself, being the hater that I am on the Saints, I did not like the move. I did not want to see any good befall upon the New Orleans Saints. And it's not because of the Saints organization in general. It's because of the Saints fans. Honestly, Saints fans, when you up, they right there with you, and oh my God, it's so great. But when you make a mistake, they will throw you away in a heartbeat. Because you saw what happened with Drew Brees. You saw what happened with Taysom Hill. Drew Brees threw an interception, and he need to pack it up and retire. He need to go somewhere else and let somebody else take the reins. He hurting the team. But when he was throwing the little 2-yard passes and Michael Thomas was running for 85 yards, it was Drew Brees, the greatest thing ever. So the Saints fans is what make people dislike the Saints. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. From being in New Orleans, it's the Saints fans. It's not the Saints. Saints have a good team, but the Saints fans make people hate the Saints. Now, why I was hating on the Saints signing Tyrann Mathieu, because obviously I wanted Tyrann Mathieu to go to the 49ers. Tyrann Mathieu is a great safety, and I did not want him to go to the Saints and bring Saints greatness, because I want nothing but pitifulness for the Saints, because I'm a Saints hater. I'm a 49er fan, and everybody knows this, and that's just what happens in New Orleans. So for Tyrann, I think is a good look for him. He got 3 years, $33 million. And I think it's a real good look for him, because at this point in his career, he can pick where he wants to go, and he wanted to come home. And in doing that, he'll probably come home and be able to do things within the community to help the community, and that's stuff that I like. You see a lot of people do that when they come to that point in their careers. You see them decide to come to go to their hometowns if they can, and try to make a difference in their hometown. You saw the same thing with Keenan Lewis. He came and played for the Saints, and now he's coaching one of the high school football teams. I believe they went to the championship, not the championship. They went deep in the playoffs last year. So you see these guys come home, and it's not just for show. They come home and they're actually doing things within the community and with these kids in the community to help them make the right choices and not be on the other side where they could be. So I think it's a good look overall. And my bias against the Saints aside, I think that it will be a good relationship between both of them. And I see great things that come for the Tyrann Mathieu and that Saints defense.
Amir, what's your thoughts on this?
If this was Tyrann Mathieu of 3 seasons ago, obviously he wouldn't be signed this late. Let's just throw that out there. He wouldn't have resigned this late, and the Chiefs would have resigned him, and this would be a non-conversation. But you hit it on the nose there, Jimmy, when you're talking about, you brought out his philanthropy side, going home and doing well for, giving New Orleans hope and yada, yada, yada. Tyrann Mathieu hasn't been a shutdown corner since he got the name Honey Badger. I think, he needs to be milk and honey somehow, raccoon or something, because he got his fingers out there, but he ain't that shutdown dude anymore. Even when he's been playing nickel for a while, he's not that dude now. And that's why he only got $11 million a year, 3 year, $33 million a year for a talent that used to be Tyrann Mathieu. Now, how does this benefit the Saints? The Saints used to a Tyrann Mathieu. Now, top 10 defense. Obviously, their offense was atrocious. Their defense kept them in the game. Their defense beat Tom Brady twice. Their defense was the reason they were 1 game away from the playoffs before the 49ers took that last game of the season and yada, yada, which it worked out for the Stars because we needed that 49ers team to beat the Cowboys. We all know the Saints wouldn't have done it, but the 49ers did. Praise the Lord. We got it. But this is not the same Tyrann Mathieu. Now, how he gets used is going to be huge. They're going to put him in a dime. They're going to put him in the Tampa 2. They're going to put him in that defense where he is not the guy that has to be the shutdown. He's not falling around the best wide receiver or the second best wide receiver. We already know he could probably shut down a Russell Gage in Tampa, but he's not shutting down freaking Mike Evans and Goodwin. Not doing it. So those are the aspects. And with the new coaching staff there in New Orleans, it's going to be interesting. Is it the same defense? Is it not the same defense? I just hope
it's
that
a new
Tyrann
coaching
doesn't
staff,
get
but they're
embarrassed
the
on the way
same
out.
personnel. It's a new coaching staff, but same personnel.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same defense because the defense coordinator took over for the head coach. He's the head coach now. So,
and I think with Tyrann, they're not gonna ask him to do the things he was doing 3-4 years ago. They signed Marcus May, if I'm not mistaken. You can fact check me on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's the Marcus that they signed. You still got Lattimore. What was the corner from Stanford last year? Debo? Debo? Is that his name?
A Debo, Adobo, something like that.
And then they drafted a guy that I think was underrated this year. And I only got to see him because I'm in Tennessee. Alontae Taylor. That guy, he's gonna turn a few heads this year. They drafted him in the second round, I believe it was. He's gonna turn a few heads this year. All they need the Honey Badger to do is to solidify. They don't need him to take them over the top. They need him to solidify that secondary, play alongside a Marcus May, groom an Alontae Taylor. I think that defense is gonna be okay. The shocker for me is they didn't bring anybody in to challenge famous Jameis. But we'll get to that later too. I guess you guys already talked about the impact, and I mean, I guess we're all in agreement on that. On the impact that he's going to have. The $11 million a year. How do y'all feel? Is that spot on? Too much? Not enough for a Honey Badger? Jim?
Well, like I said, at this point in his career, I think that's where he was trying to be and the way he was trying to get to. You know, he like Amir said, you know, he's on the downside. So he's not gonna get top safety money because, you know, right now he's there. He still have some ball hawk skills, but they got him mostly for his tackling and his ability to run the blitz. And that's why they brought him in, and that's what he's gonna do. So 11 mil is right in the middle and right where he needs to be. Is not gonna, they wouldn't go low ball him, but they wasn't about to give him top money either.
Amir?
He's home. He's home now. You know, he's I think that speaks volumes. It probably wasn't his first, second, or third choice because he's a very competitive defensive back. He always wants to make sure, you know, he fits in. He didn't want to give Kansas City the hometown discount per se. So 3 years, 11 mil. Yeah, I really believe that works. That definitely works. Works for the Saints, who was cash strapped to begin with. Maybe if they can put Tyson Hill down at fullback, they can use that contract for something positive. You know, I don't. That's something Sean Payton did on the way out. He knew he was leaving. He was like, you know, this is a big FU to the Saints organization and their cash money. Just like, here you go, let's pay this guy and not use him.
Exactly.
On the way out.
Although
but he's gonna be all right. Tyrann Mathieu's gonna be all right. You know, he brings a lot of fire. He brings a lot of, you know, he's a veteran at this point.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely better. He's not a hothead like he used to be when he first came in. He wasn't going for heads. He's smart, veteran. He's good. He's gonna be all right.
All right. Let's get into this draft. This draft, man. Wild 3 days. A wild 3 days.
Wild 3 days.
Let's get the draft recap up there, and we'll go through that. Talk about that real quick. I think from the top, there was a shocker there. Nobody had Trayvon Walker going number 1 except Trent Baalke. Nobody. What was the shocker of the first round for you guys? Let's start with you, Amir.
The shocker for me
of the first round.
Either Patriots picking up a third rounder offensive lineman, or Malik Willis falling out to the third round. Third round, right? Yeah. That was the two things that was mind blowing to me. Didn't understand why. Well, they said Belichick rated him high. I get Chance, whatever the kid's name is. They rated him high. They expected him to go out early second. So they were just trying to beat the traffic and get there first. I get it. I'm not questioning what the Patriots have done. They're a stellar organization. They have won championships. Many of that's probably attested to Tom Brady, that combination of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. But I think everybody had a linebacker for the first round for the Patriots. But hey, it happened. Malik Willis falling out. There was so many teams that could have picked him up. So many teams that needed him right away. Because Tennessee don't need him, at least not for another 2 seasons, at least.
Malik, no, and he's correct because Tennessee's not releasing Tannehill this year or next. Is too much dead cap. Next year they might only a $18.8 million dead cap hit. I say only, but if they were to release him this year, it's 57 mil. He's not making 57 mil, but his cap hit is 57 mil. So I think Malik Willis landed in the perfect spot because he has the most upside of any of the quarterbacks, but he was not ready to go from day one. He's going to need a year or so.
You want a rookie running around Nashville and forgetting that he got to play football in the morning?
A Malik Willis, I like it because that he's humble. He's humble enough to do what he has to do. So I'm not. I love that pick. We got him in the 3rd round, pick 86. I love that pick. Loved it. We got to start thinking about life after Tannehill because, I mean, Tannehill gets to the playoffs and forgets that he's a quarterback. So we needed that. We needed that in Nashville. We needed that excitement, that anticipation of Malik Willis. Jim, what was your biggest shocker?
Well, I mean, besides, what the Patriots did, I don't know what was happening with Bill Belichick. Maybe he's just getting old. Maybe, he needed to put the sleeves back on his hoodies because he didn't caught the old time sickness. He got the pneumonia or something. No quarterbacks, only one quarterback getting drafted throughout 2 rounds of the draft. But Nakobe Dean, the way he tumbled, that in itself, and afterwards it came out, he had the injury that they wanted him to have surgery on, and he was like, no, I don't need surgery. It came out after that, but
no, it actually came out during the draft.
Right. But it came out right before he got drafted. It didn't come out on day 1 or day 2. It came out like right before he got drafted. That's what was going on. It was like right before it because I remember sitting there, I was like, why is he still falling? And as soon as I thought that, it came, the story hit that they wanted him to have surgery, and he said no, and then all of a sudden now he's drafted. So it was kind of strange to me. But what I did see was a lot of young fellas that's about to be real hungry next year and it's about to cause some real problems because a lot of people got passed up on, and I know for sure that they remember all the teams that passed up on them. They even remember the team that they got drafted to because they got passed up on at least 2 or 3 times before that team drafted them. So they're going into training camp with that chip on their shoulder, and they're gonna want somebody to push that chip off their shoulder so they can show them exactly what they have. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and for me, the biggest shocker was one quarterback going in the first 2 rounds. One quarterback, and the first one didn't come off the board until pick 20.
That's crazy.
We knew these quarterbacks weren't franchise leading quarterbacks.
But did we know they were this bad though? Did we know that the evaluators, the people that are paid to scout these guys, thought so little of them? I mean, the first one don't come off the board until pick 20. You don't get another one come off the board until pick 74 when Desmond Ridder went to the Falcons.
Right.
Everybody's, 1A or one quarterback in this league, Malik Willis, didn't come off the board until pick 86. Thank you, rest of the league, but still, pick 86.
Right. And
three quarterbacks in the first 86 picks.
Exactly. But the good thing with that is these quarterbacks, all the quarterbacks that came in the third round, now you don't feel the need to have to prove yourself and be the guy right away. So now you can sit back, you can learn, and you can get used to being in the NFL without having to be the guy right now. Because you see what happened to the guys from last year. You see what happened to Lawrence and to what's the other little boy name? The little Zach short Wilson. One with the Jets. Yeah, Zach Wilson. Little guy. That's what I call him. I call him the little guy because he a little Tonka truck. He be moving around because he had to. But speaking of which, the Jets made some real noise. But
we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, I was looking at it and he made me think of it. Jesus. But
we're gonna get to that.
You see what happened with those guys, last year. They came off and they were like 1, 2, 8, 3 don't really count because he was still sitting behind $25 million. So you saw those guys have to be the guy immediately. And I'm not gonna say they cracked under the pressure, but they didn't have the complementary weapons around them that they needed to have at the time. So you can't hold them up and say you need to be the guy, you need to hurry and make us win when everything's not there for them.
I mean, that was trial by fire. It was gonna be them. Nobody expected the Jets or the Jags to do anything anyway. So playing them made a ton of sense. They got that experience. They got that time on the field. They got that live action. So, I mean, nobody expected the Jags or the Jets to go to the Super Bowl. Nobody expected the Jags or the Jets to win their division last year.
The Bears.
Nobody expected that. What did you saying, Jim?
I said the Bears either. We're not going to forget about the Bears and Justin Fields. We're not going to let him off the hook either because he was there.
Yeah, he got a late start to his. Tito said the Jets taking a running back. Carter isn't bad. From a fantasy perspective, that one kind of threw a monkey wrench in my plans because I wanted Carter to be that workhorse, and I'm not sure that that's going to happen with Breece Hall out of Iowa State coming in there, who the Jets picked up in the second round. You don't take the top running back to sit him, so it's going to be a timeshare there. That one threw a monkey wrench in my fantasy plans. That's another show. Jim, you were just alluding to it. Who won the draft? Who had the best draft in you guys' opinion? And I'll start with you, Jim, since you were already putting it out there.
The Jets made a whole lot of noise. Both of them New York teams made some noise. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't expect both of the New York teams to make noise because a lot of times it's one or the other, but it's never both of them. Both of the New York teams did something, so I gotta give your guys props up there, Amir. They made some noise. The Ravens quietly made noise too, which was kind of weird. Like you look at it, like while they were drafting, you'd be like, why did they do that? But then once you look at the whole thing, you'd be like, okay, all right, I can feel that. You know who didn't win the draft was the 49ers. I'm mad at them because you drafting running backs and all this other stuff when you clearly need secondary help, but you drafting running backs and wide receivers and all this other stuff, and you just taking more and more D linemen. Which
and don't forget another quarterback. They selected another quarterback.
They did another quarterback. I don't and they took that quarterback because John Lynch, and I quote, said, I saw a lot of things that I saw in Nick Mullins. That is really what he said, folks. You can
Did he say it with a straight face?
He with a straight face. He grabbed. Let me check. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna bring my guy in. He came in with a straight face. He grabbed the microphone like this. He said, "Look, I saw him. He had a lot of things that looked like Nick Mullins. He reminded me of Nick Mullins, and that's why I wanted him." And I couldn't watch no more. I was like, "All right, John, you tripping real hard," so I had to turn it off. But
is Nick Mullins still the third string?
Nick
Mullins is not even in San Francisco anymore, is he?
No, isn't he?
He was a free agent. I know that.
Isn't he with the Bears now? I don't know where Nick Mullins is. He had signed with somebody, and then he got traded immediately. So I don't.
No, I know he's a free agent. That's what I'm saying. I know he's a free agent.
Right. Yeah, he's a free agent now. Like he signed with somebody. He went to training camp and got traded immediately. So they was in training camp.
He got traded to Philly. I know he got traded to Philly.
Right. It was like, "You suck, dude. You got to go." And they traded him in Philly, and now he's a free agent. So Philly, just like we don't need extra quarterbacks. We only.
I just know he's a free agent now. I just didn't know if he signed with somebody or not.
Who won the draft in your opinion, Amir?
Who won the draft? I gotta say the East Coast. And I'm not saying just the New York, New Jersey Giants and Jets. I speak of the Eagles. Outside of even Wild making the steal of the century,
the trade
and trading for AJ Brown, they turned around and got valuable picks. They got what's it called? Defensive nose tackle from Georgia.
Jordan Davis.
Davis. That guy. I thought he was going to drop way lower, but they got a stud in him. They went ahead and drafted Nakobe Dean later.
Yeah,
after everybody passed through him twice.
That's the one.
So I'm telling you, and they got and the AJ Brown. I was just flabbergasted when I saw that.
Flabbergasted, huh?
Flabbergasted.
Well, I saw that one a whole different way, but we're gonna keep it PG-13.
I would imagine you did, sir. I would imagine you did, because that was ridiculous. I
only wanted $12 million more.
That's it,
and some more money guaranteed. Like for 4 years, you could have the whole contract guaranteed. To be honest with you.
The only thing that, and I'm not saying that I'm putting a lot of pressure on the guy, but I'm not saying that he's going to be AJ Brown. They drafted his clone. In Treylon Burks. Before the draft, my draft comparison to Treylon Burks was AJ Brown, which is why I didn't think the Titans would draft him, because we already had AJ Brown. Well, AJ Brown gone.
Well, they traded him around what, 13th pick or something like that.
They got the 16th pick, which we used to draft 18th pick, and we got a third rounder 101, which that 101 came in handy because it allowed us to trade back up to get Malik Willis. But losing AJ Brown stings. That one hurts. There's no pun intended on that. That one hurts. No pun intended. But
I blame Jacksonville.
We all blame Jacksonville. You don't give Christian Kirk $18 million.
I don't understand.
Here's the thing. Everybody's blaming Christian Kirk for his contract, which is absurd.
I'm not blaming Christian.
I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming Jacksonville.
Not blaming Christian Kirk. Go get your money.
Hold on, but I'm gonna do you one better though. I'm gonna do you one better. You go a year ago and you blame the Giants for giving Kenny Golladay $19 million and 50-something guaranteed, and he ain't catching out one darn touchdown.
But the only thing with that is Kenny Golladay got $19 million, but nobody remembered his contract. Nobody remembered. I mean, of course the NFL does. Of course the NFL did. But Kenny Golladay was more established than Christian Kirk was. Kenny Golladay made a bigger name for himself in Detroit. He made a bigger
Marvin
name.
Marvin Jones is more of a number one than Christian Kirk is over there in Jacksonville.
Say that again.
I said Marvin Jones is more of a number one over there in Jacksonville than Christian Kirk.
And I'm agreeing with you. Like, I have no qualm with that. I agree with you. There is no way Christian Kirk should have got $18 million. But once Christian Kirk got $18 million, all these young receivers and all these disgruntled receivers, they like, oh, it's time to get paid.
Got everybody wanting $25 million.
It's time to get paid.
Everybody.
And it hurts to lose AJ Brown, but Tennessee was never going to give him $25 million a year. Like they didn't have the money to give him $25 million a year.
What are you talking about? They offered him 88. They only needed 12 more million.
We still love AJ Brown, love him to death, gonna miss him. But I mean, he's been off the field more than he's been on the field here lately.
Okay, now you're trying to justify him leaving.
No,
you trying to justify him leaving.
No,
don't be that fan. Don't be that fan.
No, I love AJ Brown.
I ain't like his house anyway. You know, I ain't like him. Don't be that dude. Don't try to justify him leaving.
Next thing you know, he gonna be busting out to Stephen A. Smith. It's no way you're gonna tell me that's preposterous.
I'm just saying, no. I'm not saying that as a fan. Yes, I'm gonna miss AJ Brown being on the Tennessee Titans. I'm trying to think of how the front office is thinking. We said that they offered him 22. Do we really know that they offered him 22?
Yes.
According to AJ, they only offered him 17.
No, they offered him 4 years, 88 mil. He just wanted majority of it guaranteed. That was it. He would have got less if the Titans would have just guaranteed it. And that's right. It goes to what you said. He's injury prone, and that's why Tennessee didn't want to give him the guaranteed money. But I'm telling you right now, for $12 more million, he would have signed it, but they didn't. Tennessee just played hardball, and they lost.
Right.
I'm not gonna. It's too early to say that they lost. It's too early, but yes,
y'all still got time to hit.
Because I mean, what if AJ Brown turns into the Kenny Golladay of this year?
But that was more of a quarterback, though.
What?
That's more on the quarterback. That's on Daniel Manning. Ryan Tannehill is not Daniel Manning.
But hold on, who? Okay, Matthew Stafford. Never mind. You're right. I was about to say, who did Golladay have throwing to him in Detroit?
Yeah.
But Goff wasn't there. It was Stafford.
Yep.
I don't know. We could go all day. We could go all night about that one. I'm whew, okay.
I know you hurt. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm hurt. I'm hurting.
It's okay.
I'm hurting.
Okay.
It's all right.
Biggest takeaway from the draft, and then we'll move on. Biggest takeaway. Starting with you, Amir.
How good that Georgia national championship team was.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. They just
I didn't expect it. I knew they were good. But everybody kept focusing offense. I'm like, I don't know how the offense is putting up points. But when the defense keeps getting them 3 and out and getting a field position of 40 yards to get a touchdown or a field goal every possession, that's the formula that Georgia did last season.
Let me tell you something.
You look at it with 7 defensive players.
They're not gonna be able to do that.
Georgia, period. Let me interject something real quick on that. 5 Georgia players went in the first round. 15 Georgia players, and this is hurting coming from a Gator fan. 15 Georgia players drafted overall. That's a record. 15.
They not gonna be able to do what they did last year this year. And you can take that from somebody who, as an LSU fan, saw the entire team leaving the draft after that last championship. And
you guys are only good every 6 years.
Yeah. It's like an election and a half.
As a Gator fan, I'd take that. I'd take every 6 years right about now, man. We ain't been good in a minute.
But we on the bounce back. We're on the bounce back trail.
I'll take 6. All right. Moving on. Jim, what's your biggest takeaway?
That is about to be a whole lot more trades happening. Also, do y'all realize not one Texas person was drafted?
I did.
Also, the SEC is still just as dominant as ever.
Amir don't like that.
I mean, it is what it is. But the SEC dominates just like always. But that's all I needed to say about that.
I see things are going to change though here in the future SEC now that players are going to get paid. The college players.
Why is it going to change?
I think if you got somebody like Deion Sanders, saying talking about the HBCU teams, they're offering buku bucks. kids already know they're not in it for the the education per se. Most of them do, but most of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they get paid, they for sale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Their skills are for sale for those 3 years. The family going to take care of. So I think in a few years, not right away, but they're going to see all this NIL money coming in or NFT money coming in. They're like, you know what? I ain't got to go to Alabama and sit the bench or play one season. I can not really play hardball, play 3 years, get paid. And if I get drafted, if you think about it, Deion Sanders just had a player drafted. That was the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
It's building for the future. That is not just the SEC, Big 10, Big 12. So we'll see how that goes.
Right. My biggest takeaway was the number of trades that happened in the first round. You had 9 draft day trades. That's the most since 2010. 10 teams didn't pick at all in the first round. That's the most ever. That's crazy. All right, little NBA. Y'all want to talk a little NBA?
Let's go to the NBA.
Let's talk some NBA. What we got?
The Celtics lost.
Celtics did lose. Celtics did lose.
I was just trying to help you.
I don't see the Knicks. I don't see the Knicks.
Keep you on track. I was just trying to keep you on track.
I don't see the Knicks anywhere on there.
Oh, that's messed up.
Oh, again, the Pels.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? They made the playoffs last year. That means they got another 5 years to not make it again.
Let me blow this
way
up.
Ahead of schedule.
Let me blow this up. The Pels. Oh, they're gone already.
Whoa! We're not gonna talk about the Pels because the Pels.
First of all, you're talking about Mercedes. I'm just saying
the Pels started 1-12, sir. 3-15. The media were so
and now they're fishing
to remind you, right?
And now they're fishing.
And they brought the
and now they're on the sofa eating snacks with snacks.
They brought the Suns to the brink. They had Chris Paul losing more hair in the top of his head than he had already lost.
And now they're
they fishing now. They weren't supposed to be there, right?
They're eating snacks with snacks.
The Celtics about to go home too. We have a seat sitting right next to us, sitting on the beach.
Hey, look, okay.
It's between us and the Knicks. The seat is just sitting right there. Come on,
all right,
come on,
so,
Joe.
We got the Heat and the 76ers left in the East. We got the Bucks and the Celtics left.
I don't see the 76ers making it past the Heat.
Who comes out of that East? Who do you got coming out of that East?
Not without Embiid.
Yeah, he gonna be gone at least 3 games.
They're down 12 right now. Well, Harden hit. They're down 7 right now to the
Harden can't do that by himself. I see it being the Bucks in the Heat. With the Bucks.
How many games?
7. I take the Bucks in 7 over the Heat.
The Heat's gonna take the 76 is gonna take the Heat 7 games.
No. The Heat gonna win that in 5.
In 5.
Yeah, I'd say Heat in 5. Bucks.
What you got, Amir? Well, let's just stick with the Heat and 76.
I see the Bucks and Golden State in the finals.
Ooh, man, we're talking about the East right now. We ain't got to that point yet.
Oh, I could break it down. The Celtics ain't winning. And no, I said that already. See, you brought that back out.
We're talking about the Heat.
What is up with that hate right now?
We're talking about the Heat and the Sixers, sir.
We're talking about the Heat and the Sixers.
The Celtics got the best defensive team in the NBA. I give them that.
They do.
But so did the Pistons until they met Jordan.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not putting.
Well, it took Jordan a while to get past them Pistons, though.
I get it. And so did Milwaukee. How long has Antetokounmpo been in the league? You know what I'm saying? He's just now getting to that pinnacle. And he's doing it without Chris Middleton. You got to think about that. Chris Middleton is out some weeks as well.
That's the thing. Are they going to be able to sustain that?
Right. We're not going to
without Middleton. That's my only thing. Like
it's going to go 7 games. That series is going to go 7 games.
So we talk about the Celtics,
but I'm also a realist. I'm gonna if I felt like they sucked, I'm gonna tell you they suck it. But I think with them, with the Bucks not having Chris Middleton, that's gonna catch up to him. It might take 6 or 7 games for it to catch up to him, but I got confidence in Ime Udoka to game plan a way to stop or slow down Giannis. I'm not saying that he's not going to put up 25, 30, but let's make him do it in 20 shots. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to find a way to game plan. If that is your focal point, that is all they. I mean, Drew Holiday, you know what I'm saying? He had a big game. Are you going to get that big game from him every game?
The Bucks been there. The Bucks, they're the reigning defending champions. You know what I'm saying?
They haven't been there without Chris Middleton.
And it's going to be tough. But they're physical. They're not what Boston is used to. They put their hands on Boston. You know what I'm saying? They bump Boston. They put – it's a different breed. Jason, how many times – have you seen Jason Tatum on the floor this many times in a game?
No, I agree with that. I agree with you on that.
You said you can see him game planning. That brings up the old adage. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
I agree with that.
Milwaukee is physical.
Who you got winning the series and how many games?
I got Milwaukee in 7.
Jim?
I'm gonna take Milwaukee in 6.
I can't Celtics in 6. I got the Celtics in 6.
I respect it.
We need a homer button. We gotta add that to this.
I didn't believe that because
that was the homer moment of the week.
Because of the defense. I legit believe that because of the defense.
All right, I hear you.
You're really saying right now that the Celtics are going to beat the Bucks the next 4 out of 5 games. That's what you just said.
That's what I just said. And
you
know, off camera, we'll figure out a bet to make. But yeah,
it's going all 7 games. It's going to be a tough series. It's going to go all 7 games, and the Boston Celtics need to play at home that 7th game to have that to advance.
And see, for me, I don't want them to go 7, which is why I had to say Boston in 6. I don't want to see that 7th game because that 7th game is a toss-up, whether it's home or away. It's a toss-up. I mean, the ball can bounce either way. All right. Well, we got Grizzlies, Warriors. Is that the next?
I'll start off by saying that flagrant foul was BS.
Oh my God, super BS.
I agree.
It was horrible.
I think we all agree with that. But
he was doing it because of who he was.
Basically.
How good is Ja, man?
The legend of Ja continues to grow.
How good is that dude? I mean, yes, he missed that last shot, but how good is that dude, man?
The legend of Ja continues to grow. I don't understand why his daddy getting interviewed.
Because he looked like Usher.
Why is he famous all of a sudden? Go sit your ass down. Go sit down, T. Morant.
Because he looks like Usher.
Jesus.
He does look like Usher.
He does look like
Usher.
He
also started with Carl Anthony Towns. Yeah, they were going back and forth.
Yeah. Right, but that was last series. That ain't this series. We don't need to talk to you now. Go sit down.
It's going to take all of the Morants to beat Golden State.
It's going to definitely take all of them because the Splash Brothers are coming out there and Jordan Poole has lost his mind.
Jordan Poole, that cat has come out of nowhere and is balling.
I don't. Yep. You know what?
How did he make it to the Warriors? That guy is balling. But I think the Grizzlies they've had a good season. They had a great season, but I mean they're overmatched right here.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised. They might get 1. I think the series might go 5. Warriors in 5. But I mean the Warriors are just too good, and now they got depth.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. The Grizzlies don't have
Clay beating you. It's not Draymond fouled out, right? Or he got
kicked out.
He got kicked out. He didn't even finish the game.
And see that's what set Golden State off. As soon as he got kicked out on the BS call, Golden State went crazy and was like, all right. Hold my
beer. It definitely was BS.
All right. So Amir, what do you got? How do you see the series ending?
I think Golden State will win in 6.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's not much to say. Their shooters is just lights out, and Morant.
He's out there doing it by himself right now.
Coming. He's coming, but not this season.
Jim?
Simply because I don't want to see this become a sweep, I'm gonna say Golden State in 5.
Golden State. Yeah, that's what I got. I got Golden State.
The Grizzlies, Memphis don't have the personnel to match up the way they need to. They got John Morant, and sometimes they got Steven Adams.
Desmond Bain, he shows
Desmond Bain. I forgot about Desmond Bain.
They're a physical team as well. Memphis is a physical team. That's another reason why they're not getting these shots off so easily.
Right.
They hitting the Warriors. I say the Warriors winning 6.
Right.
It's gonna be a physical game.
All right. And we got the games going on tonight. We got the 76ers and Heat playing right now. Got 76ers and Heat playing right now. It's a commercial right now on my screen, so I can't tell you what the score is. But how do y'all? Huh?
It's a lot to a little.
Right. How do y'all see this series ending?
4-2 Miami.
4-2. And you got to remember, Embiid. We don't know when we're going to see Embiid again.
Yeah, I think Harden wins a game by himself, and then they'll probably have Tyronn Maxey do a couple of days when Embiid gets back and they win a game. The game he gets back, but that's about it.
What you got, Jim?
Miami is currently up by 5, with the score being 50-45. I am going with Miami winning this in 6. I'm gonna give them 6, but Miami is definitely gonna win this series. Embiid is gonna come back a little too late to do anything, and it's just not gonna be effective. And we James Harden is gonna show the same James Harden that he's been in Houston, where he couldn't get over the hump, and wherever the hell else he has been. So it's
and Miami's playing without Kyle Lowry as well tonight.
And for me, but the Heat missing Lowry is nowhere near as important as the Sixers missing MVP Embiid.
Yeah,
not at all.
For me, Jim, you took my point.
I do it.
Harden couldn't do it by himself in Houston.
So I'm a beast.
With what I consider more talent around him.
Mm-mm.
I don't see him doing it here in Philly. We don't know how long it just Embiid's out indefinitely. Could be 2 games, could be the whole series. We don't know. I'm gonna go off the assumption that Embiid's not coming back this series.
No, he'll be back.
If he does come back, it's gonna be too late.
They're more worried about his concussion.
I got the Heat winning in 5.
All right.
All right.
We're at a consensus. And we have the last game is the Suns and the Mavericks.
Suns and the Mavs. Let's get through this one with a little haste. How do you see this one ending, Amir?
Surprisingly, I'm not going to put a 4-3 Phoenix. I think Dallas and Luka Doncic is going to show out and push them, mainly being Devin Booker's not all the way there, got bad hamstrings. Chris Paul, for some strange reason, always gets hurt in the playoffs. Jay Crowder misses his shots in the playoffs. Like, they're going to win, but they're going to earn it. And then they're going to lose to Golden State in the Western Conference Finals after getting beat up in this series. That's just my opinion.
You got the Mavs winning 3. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Luka's gonna. What you got, Jim?
Chris Paul wants it bad.
Bad.
Chris Paul wants this bad, and I got the Suns in 6. I just saw some guys up close and personal, and the one thing I'm gonna say that they gonna have going for him is Jay Crowder knows how to act his ass off. Pardon my French, Facebook and YouTube, but Jay Crowder knows how to act. You've seen it the entire first series. The boy was all over the place. He was cleaning up the floor in both Phoenix and New Orleans. He was all over the place. You got Chris Paul pulling defenders to him, getting the benefit of the calls, and he definitely wants it very bad. You saw he decides to go Super Saiyan whenever he wants to. The game 6 against the Pelicans,
He did not miss a shot. You heard me correctly. Chris Paul did not miss a single shot the entire time
14,
he was in there. And that's not just field goals. He did not miss a free throw either. Every time he had the ball in his hands and he threw it toward the rim, it went in. Chris Paul wants this. I'm giving the Mavericks 2 games just simply because they got Luka. But Chris Paul he wants this because he's ready to hang it up, and so he's trying to get to that. He's trying to get to that chip so he can go ahead and hang it up.
Yeah, I think I also got the Suns in 6. I just think that they're too good. I mean, they're Luka is a generational talent, but I mean the Suns, they you stop Paul, you still got to deal with DeAndre Ayton. You stop DeAndre Ayton, you still got to deal with Devin Booker, hamstrings or not. I'll take Devin Booker on one hamstring over just about anybody. That dude can light it up. Suns in 6 for me. All right. So here at All Sports Matter, we like to show you guys that all sports matter by giving you an off the beat tidbit about a random sport. Amir, what you got?
I got two things. NHL hockey playoff starts tonight. Can the Tampa Bay Lightning go back to back and win? It's going to be tough. They got teams like the Rangers, Sabres. Don't quote me on the Sabres. They probably suck again this year. The Bruins, who always steps up. We're only talking about the East. So usually they say it's harder to defend your title than it is to win it. I for one, know because I tried to defend my poker title this weekend and fell short. But
but you did good though. I mean, 67 out of almost 1,200 people.
Yeah, I definitely battled.
We do that. We take that any day, bro.
I do. I'm happy.
You did better than me.
And in Major League Baseball right now, Yankees and Blue Jays are battling neck to neck. The Yankees are your best team record-wise at Major League Baseball right now. Mic drop.
What you got, Jim?
So it's a weird little fact, but did you know that Steve Young is the great grandson of the person that his alma mater college was named after, Brigham Young?
Brigham Young.
Now you do.
And for me, first off, I don't know how the Braves dropped the series to the Rangers, but I'll let my brother Amir talk about that on his baseball show. What are you doing the show Thursday?
Right now, projected to be Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll let him talk about that on the Pride and Passion Sports baseball talk. I'll let him talk about that one. I don't know how they did that, but anybody that follows WWE, Roderick Strong has requested his release from the WWE. And there you have it. The All Sports Matter podcast. I am Flectron 2 belts more. I got my brothers with me, JB and Poppy Shiraz. And we are the All Sports Matter podcast. See you. We're gonna start trying to do a show every Friday. We won't have one this Friday because a couple of our guys got some things going on. Real life happens. But we're gonna start trying to give you guys a show every Friday. Every Friday. That's what we're aiming for, to give you a show every Friday. All right. So until then, this has been the All Sports Matter podcast.
Chance to send the Thunder home. Lillard, long range three.